Looking for the best that life has to offer? Well, you need the right financial tools in place. Here at Sky Legacy Financial Services, we develop the best products and services to guide you in the right direction. We provide you and your family with the financial tools you need to build a financial shelter for endless generations. Contact us today for a free consultation. Visit SkyLegacyFinancialServices.com.
Good evening, family. Welcome to your Money Moments with yours truly, CEO of Sky Legacy Financial Services, Alton D. Walden III. My wife, Dana Walden, is the executive director. And we, as the commercial stated, provide you and your family with the financial tools that you need in order for you to build a financial shelter for endless generations. I am so passionate about this subject matter as it relates to wealth and generational wealth, because you're listening to a man who comes from the rough area in the inner city of Rochester, New York, where I was born and raised, and I witnessed poverty firsthand. And I made a vow to myself that I would never live in that condition. I would ensure that I applied myself and I would get out of that situation. I experienced lack to the utmost. I know what it is to stand in a welfare line. I know what it is to get credit at the corner store. I know what it is to live from paycheck to paycheck. And I experienced some very traumatic things in my life where I wasn't in a good financial space for me to be able to help my loved ones. That really bothered me. I seen the things that my wife was going through on her job. And unfortunately, at the time, I wasn't in a financial position where I was able to be her Superman. Any man that loves his wife does not want to see his wife go through those things. And I vowed to myself that I would never, ever have that feeling ever again in my life, where I would feel so helpless economically, where I could not help my loved ones. In fact, when I was younger, my loved ones couldn't even give me minuscule amounts of money. Now, I'm not trying to knock them. I'm just saying that I said to myself, I'm looking forward to the time where I'm able to be in control of my own finances. Now, mind you, I was in my adolescent years when I made this statement. And so I'll never forget when my friend father invited me to work with him. At the time, he was redoing his roof. They lived across the street. And my best friend, he went to go ask, could I assist? And I'll never forget how good it felt when I reaped the fruits of my labor and he paid me. And I loved it. I was able to go get what I wanted from the store. I didn't have to ask my mother. I didn't have to hear no. I didn't have to hear, I don't have enough money to give you at this time. As an adolescent, I was addicted to being in control of my economics. So my friends in the neighborhood, they would get jobs, cutting grass. Greetings. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate that, Tammy. My wife and I, we greatly appreciate you and Reginald's continued love and support. She's one of our mentees. I'll never forget. She was actually one of the first ones, man, who volunteered to receive a consultation and wanted to sow some seed in our lives because of us taking out the time to be a blessing to her. So we thank you so much. We pray blessings upon you and your family. Again, thank you so much for tuning in and your continued love and support. You and him are the best. Best. So back to the story, I was able to go out there and cut grass, and I reaped, fruits from my labor. And I love the fact that I was able to supply my own clothing, my own shoes. My mother, she told me at the age of 15 that she wasn't going to buy me any more clothing or shoes after that one set of school clothes, and that I was going to have to take care of myself. Now, during that time, you had to have a work permit. Now, I don't know how it is in any other state. I'm 45 years old. I'm not that old. However, during that time, that's what we had to do in order for us to work in upstate New York and Rochester. We had to go get, a work permit. And I never argued with that, because again, I didn't like to hear no, and I wanted to get what I wanted when I wanted it, right? So I was super excited about being able to have control of my own finance. And I'll never forget when I started working part-time. I worked at Mickey D's and I worked at Burger King. Yes, I did. And believe it or not, I actually learned a very solid work ethic, from working there. Matter of fact, to this day, I clean up as I cook, because that's what we used to do. So when it was time for us to go, we didn't have a whole lot to do. We were able just to move on. At the end of the night, just clean up anything else, or in the afternoon or morning, we was able to move on after we did that. And so it's some habits that I got from actually doing that. Now you may be saying, Alton, what does this have to do with how do I end generational broke and start generational wealth? Well, I want to share this with you because it takes work. That's the reason why. And you have to have an attitude of wealth. It's a mindset. And that mindset influences your attitude. And your attitude determines your altitude. Right? So with that being said, how do we end generational broke and start generational wealth? It's very simple. We teach it. That's right. It's a learned behavior. Being wealthy is a learned behavior. It's a mindset. I myself personally refuse to accept the conditions that I was living in. I desired to have better. I was hungry. As a motivational speaker, the great Les Brown talks about being hungry. I was hungry. And I desired to have better. Now, mind you, I was an adolescent thinking like this. I refused to accept poverty. I refused to accept the zip code and the condition that went along with that zip code. I did not see myself in that place. I seen me in a place of prosperity. I did not see myself in a place of unfruitfulness. Right? How do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself? Is that your expected end, the state that you're in right now, living from paycheck to paycheck? Do you accept that? Do you accept that your gender, your ethnicity, and your zip code is a showstopper? Have you spoken that out of your mouth into your life? Because understand, life and death lies in the power of the tongue. Your tongue is a creative tool, just like the paintbrush of an artist. Understand the canvas, right? The artist has a thought. And from the thought, from the stroke of the brush, the artist creates his or her thoughts. And they bring it to life on the canvas. I'm going to ask you again. What is your thoughts and what are you speaking? What are you creating in your world? Darlene Stewart, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Your thoughts and your words combined, inclusive with your faith, is combustible and is creative power. It's creative power. You and your family can have better, regardless of what happened the generation before you, and I would like to say the generations before you. In fact, if a lot of us do some research in our bloodline, we would come to find that a lot of our relatives were entrepreneurs. But let's carry on. If you want to end generational growth, then it starts with your mindset. It starts with you. You are the one that has to put your faith in action. And when you put your faith in action, you'll get a reaction. The laborer is worthy of the hire, for you shall eat the fruit of your labor. Have you deemed yourself unworthy? Have you said, well, I'm not worthy? Why are you not worthy? Why don't you deserve the best out of life? Why have you labeled yourself as unworthy? I want you to think about this, right? When you see a sold sign, do you try to go to that particular home if it says sold? The sign tells you it's sold, right? So what people do, they see the sign, okay, it's sold, and they pass it by. See, understand, whenever you say, I'm not worthy, you have labeled yourself. And when the blessings come your way, you've labeled yourself unworthy. So the blessings pass you by. Because that's the label you keep putting on yourself. That's what you keep speaking in your life. You keep saying, I can't. You keep saying, I'm not worthy. You keep saying, I'm not able. What is your attitude when things get tough? When you putting in the work in order for you to obtain what you say that you desire, you dream of, and what you have envisioned? What do you do? What do you do when times get tough? Do you tap out when things don't go the way that you want it to go? Do you just give up? Because I want you to understand very clearly on tonight that when you do that, unfortunately, you have forfeited your blessing. Building wealth takes time. You have to take it one step at a time, one investment at a time. You can't keep selling shares and think that you're going to build wealth every time you buy some stocks. Okay, and then you sell the stocks, right? You cannot get wealthy like that. You buy and hold. And then the stocks mature. It grows in value. I want you to just take a very brief moment. Let's just take a pause for a minute here, right? Now, the shares in Apple. When the company Apple was established and they started the shares in the company, do you think that the shares when the company started is the same today as it was when they started shares with the company, Apple? Absolutely not. People who bought multiple shares of Apple, depending on the quantity that they had invested in, more than likely they're wealthy now. You know why? Because they held on to their shares and their stocks matured over time and it became worth more money as what? The company grew, as the sales grew, right? And so now the shares cost more than it did when they initially started, giving the public an opportunity to be able to invest in the company. So I need you to understand, and you need you to understand, for the sake of you, that patience is a virtue. You must understand that building wealth takes time. It's just like a house. When we first bought our home, it didn't cost as much as it costs now. All praises be, we got going on 3 years in our home, our residence, and the equity has went up in the house exponentially. Now, if we had bought the house, sold the house when we first got the house, it wouldn't have as much money in it. Why? Because we didn't give it time to what? Appreciate, for it to grow, right? So you got to give your money time to grow. You have to be patient. When a farmer plants a seed, it doesn't automatically come up and now here goes a tree that the farmer can glean from and sell the produce from and make money off of it. No, the tree has to go through its process as it grows and as it flourishes, and the leaves and the buds, and then the fruit has to be ripe enough for you to be able to pluck it, and then you're able to do what? Sell it. But it has to go through a process before they can reap the benefits from the fruit tree. So this is what I'm saying to you. You can't expect to be wealthy overnight. If that's your life path, all praises be, that's not common. Okay, let that be known. That's not common. There are some people who it doesn't take them an extensive period of time in order for them to get wealthy. Right? That's a person's life path. That's their life path, right? So what you got to do is you got to stay focused on your life path. You got to stay focused on what you need to do in order for you to be able to build wealth. So it's imperative that you learn economics. It's imperative that you take out the time to educate yourself about money, cash flow. It's a flow. It's an ever-flowing currency. That's why it's called cash flow. Listen, it goes in, it goes out, but it comes back in. Okay? So that's the way money operates. That's the way it's supposed to work. You invest it, sending it out, then you get a return. So it comes back in. So it's cash flow. So if you're not investing, then how can you get wealthy? What are you doing in order for that to happen? You say, well, that's what you want to be. My question is, what are you doing for that to be? Okay? What are you doing for it to be? See, faith without works will keep the vision, the dream from not coming alive. In order for you to be able to birth what you say you desire, what you envision, what you dream of, you must put in the work in order for that to happen. Okay? Learn about trading, learn about stocks, learn about investing, learn about real estate. Okay? Learn about entrepreneurship. Invest in yourself, and the ROI will be great. There's a lot of people that pray, but they don't perform in order for that to happen. And so they're sitting there, they're waiting for a blessing to come and drop in their lap. Madam C.J. Walker, she did not become wealthy by just sitting there and not doing anything. Robert W. Smith did not become a billionaire by him sitting there and not doing anything. The Carters, Jay-Z and Beyonce, did not become billionaires by them not doing anything. Oprah Winfrey did not become a billionaire by her not doing anything. Everybody who I just mentioned are all people of faith. But they put their faith in action, in their divine given or God-given abilities. They put that to work. And when they put themselves to work, it worked out for them. And now they're able to glean from the work that they put in. So this is a key ingredient. My big sister, Joe Buchanan, in the house. She said rental properties. Absolutely. I totally agree. Rental properties is how my wife was able to come off of her job. Is one of the ways she was able to. Okay, but investing is what enabled her to get the cash flow to have access to cash. Now, I want you to understand, I gave 20 years of my life because I'm a retired United States Marine. I gave 20 years of my life to set myself up for the rest of my life. Okay? Listen, you can leverage your job, okay? And you can start investing and build up capital to set yourself up. Because one stream of income, if you haven't learned anything during this pandemic, that one stream of income is dangerous. Okay? Think about it. You only have one stream of income. 1 minus 1 equals what? 0. So if you lose that job, then what are you going to have coming in? This is the reason why it's imperative to be a person who budgets, okay? And learning how to park your money somewhere safely where you don't have to be concerned about it. A wonderful vehicle to do that, to put it in storage in, is a whole life policy, or index universal life policy, life insurance policy. Okay? According to tax code 7702 alpha, those are tax-free savings accounts that are attached to those policies. Okay, it's a dual benefit. All right, you're able as the policy owner to be able to have access to cash just in case emergencies come up. Secondly, what's very important about these policies is that you're able to leave an inheritance, because the title of the subject is End Generational Broke and Start Generational Wealth, right? So again, I know you're all intelligent. I know everybody out here knows how to add and subtract. Because let me tell you something. I know if your job shorted you your money, you would notice very quickly that there is something missing and they didn't do their math right. You understand? So I know that you're very mathematically savvy out here. So let's think about this. If you don't have an inheritance to leave your family, that means they receive nothing, which means if that cycle continues on, again, 0 plus 0 equals what? 0. So if everybody keeps leaving 0, then what do you think that the cycle is going to be in the family? Absolutely. I knew that I was talking to intelligent people out here. All right, exactly, 0. So let me let you know, this is the reason why that a lot of families don't have anything, because nobody is leaving anything. Not only that, it's imperative that we leave the wealth in the hands of a capable inheritor. That's important as well. They shouldn't just get the inheritance solely based on the fact that that's your mother, brother, sister, cousin, children. It don't work like that. Because if you give an irresponsible person those resources, what's going to happen? They're going to squander it. Just like the prodigal son. Squander it, and then there will be nothing to be able to be passed on because the irresponsible inheritor just blew the resources. This is the reason why education, and also inclusive with education, is discipline and responsibility. Remember now, we're talking about ending generational growth. So if nobody takes this in consideration and keeps putting it in the hand of a person who is not responsible, then it's going to keep being cut off. And guess what's going to happen? The families are going to have to go back to square one again. Why? Because there's no inheritance. Why? Because the heir was irresponsible and squandered it. So we got to get all your emotions out of the way. Get all your emotions out of the way. Okay? Get it out of the way. I know that's your mama. I know that's your brother. I know that's your cousin, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your children. I understand that. If you don't want generational growth to continue in the family, it will behoove you not to put it in the hands of somebody that's irresponsible. Money management is critical. Okay? And you don't want to do that. All right? Aaron Johnson, thank you so much for tuning in. Peace, family. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I want to leave it there with you. Okay? Again, this is yours truly. Alton D. Walden III. I'm looking at the comments out here. Okay. And so Sky Legacy Financial Services, what we focus on is helping you and your family to be able to build generational wealth. And we do this by providing you and your family with the financial tools that you need in order for you and them, as well as your friends, to build a financial shelter for endless generations to come. Listen, we would love to help you to do that. We're helping numerous families to be able to do that. There's people that's joining the team too. Okay, if you would like to make some extra cash flow, all right, if you want to be your own bank, if you want to work your own hours, we're here for you. The financial industry is one of the most lucrative industries in the world. You can look it up. In the trillions of dollars. All right? There's enough money to go around. All right? If you love to help people, all right, you can help yourself by helping other people. This is something that everybody needs. Everyone needs life insurance, okay? Listen, I don't care how wealthy somebody is. Okay, why would you want to go into your bank account and spend money that you don't have to? Why not let life insurance pay for it? Listen, some of you may say, oh, I'll save up and I'll wait for, me to save up enough money so when something comes up, okay, I'll just go into the savings and, I'll do it that way. Listen, I need you to hear me very clearly. If you were spending $50 on a life insurance, if you was putting away $50, the life insurance policy is $50. Do you really think that that's going to cover a funeral expense? Do you know the average funeral expense is $10,000? So if you put away $200 a month, okay, say for instance your loved one transitions, the Most High forbid, on tomorrow, and you just started saving $200. Do you think that's going to be enough money to cover the funeral? No. Listen, you can't beat the return for what you put into these policies on a monthly basis because it will help to defray the cost. Now, also, your loved one, husband, wife, mom, dad, auntie, uncle, brother, sister, God mom, God dad, okay, if you're a parent guardian, okay, if you should leave here on today, will your loved ones who's going to be over your estate, over your affairs while you're still here, okay, the ones that's doing it, if you should leave here, will they have enough resources to take care of the financial assistance that you provided when you were here? I want you to think about that. Now, I also want you to understand that there is taxes, inheritance taxes, that families have to pay when you leave here. They're coming for the ones who are still here. Once you leave here, your family is responsible for that. Now, let's revisit the question again. If something happens to you, is there enough funding for your family to be able to carry on like you were when you were here? If your answer is no, you need to give me a call so we can sit down and we can get you a life insurance plan. There's no such thing, as bad life insurance. No such thing. There's some that is just more beneficial for the policy holder and the beneficiary. But there's no such thing as bad life insurance. Listen, let's get this started like right now, like today. Okay? Life insurance is not a bill. Okay? It's not. You're investing in yourself and your family. It gives you a peace of mind because you know if I leave here, my family will be well taken care of. It gives you financial peace. Knowing if something happens to me, my family will be still taken care of. Listen, and then what's the good thing about it is whole life, permanent life, has living benefits. So if something happened to you even while you're alive, guess what? You get a lifetime income benefit rider. So if something happens to you, you'll still be able to receive some type of funding from the policy. And it'll help to defray the cost because you're not able to work. Now, of course, there's some qualifying situations that go along with that. But if you're down and you can't work, the beautiful thing about you can get access from your cash in your policy, all right, to make up for hard times. Think about it. It's really something that you should truly take in consideration. All right? And you got to understand that this should be a priority. Taking care of your family should be a priority. Listen, I'm going to just keep it real with you. If you're going out eating all the time and you're a parent and you don't have life insurance, or you're a husband and you're a wife and you don't have life insurance and you went on all these trips and you don't have the proper measures in place to take care of your family, you need to really reevaluate your priorities. Okay? Because this is important. See, this is a thought-provoking conversation. I want you to think about this because a lot of people, they don't think about these things until it's too late. Until it happens. And not throwing shots at all, but brother comedian AJ, who passed away, okay, who played in the movie Friday, when he left here, he was making all that money. And guess what? Even with him making all that money, his family couldn't even afford to bury him. There was an activist in the community, went over to Africa, went all around the world. When this activist left here, guess what? His family couldn't afford to bury him. So my question is, where is your priorities at? Where's your priorities? It's time to really sit down and get serious about life. Where's your wills at? Where's your powers of attorney at? If you're not cognizant and you can't think and you can't do any business, do you have husband, wife? Mom, dad, brother, sister? Do you have a will? Do you have a power of attorney? Do you have these things in place so your family won't be arguing over your belongings? Sky Legacy Financial Services, we're concerned about you and your family well-being, and we want to help you. Also, for your entrepreneurs getting ready to close out here, if you need business credit, business funding, okay, we can help supply that for you as well. You know, why keep going in your own pocket, okay, and you're exhausting your own resources? Listen, start using the business credit. Stop using your social security number unless you have to, okay? Of course, you have something like real estate or personal, you know, a primary residence where, of course, you're going to be required to do that. And if your credit is not up to par, listen, we can help you with that too. We have a credit restoration program. In fact, for those who want to protect their assets, okay, we have a trust program, okay, where you can protect your assets, right, from the public. You know, nobody can just come along and touch, okay, your property that you have. You know, real estate investors, okay, and even if you're not, okay, your own residence, you could put your assets inside of this trust and protect your property. Listen, through this service that we are connected to, we also offer that as well. Real estate investors, if you need cash to fund your deals, we can help you out with that too. Sky Legacy Financial Services, you know, we are close to being a one-stop shop. We can help you with all the above. Okay, we're looking forward to serving you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Signing out. Looking forward to connecting with all you. Also, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. We are also on YouTube, okay? All right. Thank everybody for tuning in. We greatly appreciate that. Good night unto you all. We'll be talking to you soon.
Looking for the best that life has to offer? Well, you need the right financial tools in place. Here at Sky Legacy Financial Services, we develop the best products and services to guide you in the right direction. We provide you and your family with the financial tools you need to build a financial shelter for endless generations.